Hey guys, Kalen here, and this is going to be my very first actual tip video. This is going to be my very first video that I haven't made that involves just doing straight up commentary. And I really haven't given much tips, even in my just regular commentary. But now here's a chance for you guys to kind of get in my head a little bit about like what I do when I play Search and Destroy. So I wanted to make I want to make two parts of this video. Well, it's going to be one video, but I'm going to divide it into two parts. There's going to be a defending section and an offending section. So basically, you know, there's two different strategies, obviously, to defending and being on offense in a search and destroy game, and so there's different tips for each individual side that you play. But first off, I do want to mention that this video that I'm showing is in no way correlated to the tips that I'm going to give you, and in fact it's probably a bad example, but it's a little bit more of a glamorous gameplay, and if you want to win Search and Destroy, it's not all about the glamour, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, so don't pay attention to this video as far as the tips and stuff, because it's probably going against everything that I'm going to say. So anyway, starting off is defending, and the first tip that I have for defending is very general. It's very easy. It's have an appropriate class. You know, get an appropriate class for what you're doing. A lot of people like to do different classes for offending versus defending, and for me personally, I use the same class for both, but some people like to rush more on the offending side, whereas they like to hang back and camp more on the defending side, which is actually kind of a smart idea, but me personally, I don't rush like hardly at all. So I never use an actual rushing class. For an appropriate class, I would say don't use I'd say for your first perk, use anything but Scavenger, unless you have Scavenger Pro and you like to chuck nades a lot. There's really no reason to have Scavenger on, just because it's probably the most useless perk in Search and Destroy, considering you only have to kill 6 people in all and the game's over. But yeah, Ghost is good. It will annoy pretty much the entire COD community if you use it, so just be aware of that if that's something that you're really worried about. There's Flak Jacket, which Flak Jacket is probably my favorite perk to use, period. But I've noticed that I've relied too much on Flak Jacket, so I try to hang back on it a little bit. Lightweight's good, and Hardline's pretty much pointless. As far as weapons and equipment, I would recommend that you use whatever gun you feel most comfortable with on that particular map, and I also recommend that you use a silencer. Now, I particularly don't use a silencer very often, but it is an ideal attachment for Search and Destroy. So if you haven't used a silencer, then you might as well try it out and see how it feels. And if you don't like it, then you can always take it off. But like I said, you know, it's whatever feels best with you, and you'll find that you'll get more kills and you'll win more gunfights if you're using a weapon that you feel comfortable with, obviously. And so for your equipment, I'd say motion sensor's good, claymores are good, heck, jammers are pretty good too at times if you're like on the defending team. Really, all equipment could be used in Search and Destroy effectively. So I would just recommend that you just try out whatever you feel, again, most comfortable with. So my next tip, don't be afraid to camp. And a lot of people really, that's their biggest thing. They're afraid to camp. They're afraid, especially when they're the last person alive. That's the biggest thing. You know, when you're the last person alive and you're dying to just like, oh no, I don't want to run out there and die. There's like 5 people still alive. It's like, well, don't. you know? I mean, everyone is watching you, and the pressure is on, so you start freaking out, your palms get sweaty. It is the ideal time to camp, especially if you're defending. You know, when you're on the defending team and there's other people alive, there's no rush. I mean, there's no reason for you to run around, risk dying. If you die, the round's over. Period. So you might as well camp, and maybe the other team's trying to rush around and find you, and you'll pick up a few kills. You know, um, when the ideal thing when you're the last person alive is get close to a bomb site. So if it's like if it's a one-on-one situation and you're close to a bomb site and you know that he's nearby, wait for him to plant. I mean, it gives away his position immediately. You know that there's a guy at the bomb site. So as long as you're behind cover, you can just pop right out. As soon as he plants it, you pop right out, shoot him, get the defuse. I mean, it's that simple. Watch for claymores on the way. But what really like flusters me is when I see a guy on the defending team, the very last guy, uh, runs out when there's, you know, less than 30 seconds left in the game, and he starts rushing around the map trying to find the last guy on the offending team to try to get the final kill or something. You know, if there's 30 seconds left in the game and I'm the last guy, you can bet I'm gonna camp in a corner until that 30 seconds is up. Maybe not necessarily in a corner, but I'm gonna camp until that time's up, because there's been many games that I've been by myself, last one, 10 seconds left, you know, 5 seconds left, 2 seconds left, no bomb plant, we win the round, you know, and it's not worth it for me, you know, to run out and try to you know, risk my life to try to find one extra kill and risk losing the round. Yeah, and just know that you're gonna get called a noob. You're gonna get called a camper. You're gonna get called a bunch of things. And I've been called many things. Do I care? No, not in the slightest. They get the loss, I get the win, and more than likely, I get the kill as well. Another tip for defending is you want to learn the pathways. And this could actually help for both defending and offending. But you want to learn the pathways, because if you can position yourself, if you can get a full party, say 6 guys, yeah, that's full party, 6 guys, all tactically positioning themselves in front of these commonly used pathways, I can you know, it's a safe bet that you'll win the round within 20-30 seconds, considering the other team doesn't know what the heck they're doing. And this brings me into my next tip, and that is testing the waters. So basically, you test the waters by kind of surveying the whole situation. You see who the tryhards are on the team. You know, you can usually point out the tryhards because they're more than likely going to be jump shotting, drop shotting, doing all these crazy moves that you were like, whoa, what just happened? You know, that kind of crap that you have to deal with. That's probably more than likely gonna make you very angry, but that's good, because the next round then you can come back and you can assess the whole situation basically. You can tell whether they're defending, or I mean, like whether they're rushing or whether they are camping, and then you can just prepare for that next round and rape them in the bumhole. The next tip I have is knowing when to shoot, and it's not as key as it was in Modern Warfare 2, but as it is in Black Ops, but it is still important. If you don't have an unsilenced, or if you have an unsilenced weapon, then it's very important that you pick your shots carefully, because your position is very crucial in search and destroy. You know, basically stealth is very crucial. That's what I'm trying to say. Stealth is very crucial in search and destroy, and you don't want to give away your position for a stupid reason, especially if you're going to miss the shot, or if you're trying to shoot a guy that's about to run around the corner. um, that might not be the smartest idea, because odds are in this game you're going to get hit markers, and he'll either turn back around and kill you, or his friend will flank you and cut you off. I do have more tips, and I have tips involving both defending and offending sides, but this video is getting kind of long, so I think I'm going to cut it off here. But I'm gonna separate it into two separate parts, and hopefully I can include the defending and offending tips in the offending section, which will be the second part. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, then please rate it, comment, let me know what you think, because rating the video really does help me out a lot. So if you're new to my channel, then come check out my stuff, because I have plenty more to come. See you guys.